You ever cross paths with someone who's been broken down, rebuilt, and now carries an unshakable calm? Not loud, not seeking attention, just steady, like they've made peace with storms most wouldn't survive. These are the quiet warriors. They don't brag about their scars, their presence says it all. But behind that calm is a fire, tempered by pain and lessons learned the hard way. And when they act, it's not reckless. It's deliberate, like a storm that's been waiting for the right moment to break. This isn't your average pep talk, it's a wake-up call. If these words resonate with you, it's because you've either felt the weight of being set apart or you've crossed paths with someone who has. Nothing here is by accident. You're here for a purpose. Stay locked in, because what's coming next isn't just advice. It's insight that could shift your entire perspective. And if this hits you right where it counts, drop a 111 in the comments as a sign you're in sync with the energy that brought you here. Now, let's dive into the unseen forces that shape a chosen one and uncover the breaking points you should never underestimate. Ready? Let's go. 1. Betrayal by someone they loved. For a chosen one, love isn't just an emotion, it's a foundation, a bond built on unshakable faith. When they love deeply, with a rare purity that makes their trust feel invincible. But when that love is betrayed, it doesn't just break their heart, it shatters their understanding of connection. It's not just pain, it's a shift, a fracture in the way they see people and the world. The betrayal doesn't fade quietly, it burns, leaving behind scars that reshape who they are and how they move forward. And though they rise again, they're never quite the same. They trusted you with pieces of themselves they rarely reveal, exposing the fragile architecture of their soul. But when you turned that trust into a weapon, something inside them shifted. The softness they once offered without hesitation hardens into steel. They learn to guard their light, to shield their truth behind walls you'll never climb again. It's not bitterness, it's clarity. From that moment on, their warmth becomes a privilege, not a given, and few will ever earn it again. They begin to dissect every smile, every kind word, peeling back the layers to see what's hidden beneath. The moment they understand that applause can mask envy and compliments can carry daggers, something unyielding is forged within them. What emerges isn't just guarded, it's strategic. They move differently now, with eyes that see through facades and a heart that no longer gives freely. It's not cruelty, it's survival. They've learned that not everyone in the crowd is there to celebrate. They've also come to watch you fall. 2. Being underestimated again and again. Chosen ones carry an inner stillness, a kind of quiet confidence that doesn't demand attention. They know their worth, so they don't waste energy proving it. But when the world misreads their silence as insignificance, when they're overlooked, ignored, or mocked for their restraint, something shifts. At first, they let it roll off their shoulders, indifferent to the noise. But every slight becomes a lesson, every dismissal a spark. What the world doesn't see is the storm building beneath the calm, a power that doesn't need to announce itself, but will make its presence undeniable when the time comes. And when they rise, it's never subtle, it's seismic. But when the underestimation becomes habit, when the whispers of dismissal grow into roars, something inside them begins to stir. The patience they once wore like armor starts to crack, piece by piece, under the weight of disrespect. And when the moment arrives, the moment they decide enough is enough, there is no warning. Their rise isn't brash or theatrical, it's a tidal wave, sudden and unstoppable. The same voices that once ridiculed them now tremble in disbelief, scrambling to reconcile the quiet figure they mocked with the unstoppable force before them. But by then, it's too late. The damage is done, and the storm they've unleashed will not be undone for anyone. 3. Injustice against the powerless. Chosen ones don't merely observe, they absorb. Every cry unheard, every plea ignored, every wound inflicted on the innocent carves itself into their soul, fueling a fire that cannot be extinguished. They are not fueled by pity, but by a wrath as old as the stars, a rage that demands retribution. It's not just anger, It's a sacred duty, an unrelenting force that rises to shield those who cannot shield themselves. In their hands, fury becomes justice, and when they move, it's with the weight of every silenced voice, every unseen victim. They don't fight for glory, they fight because they must. They don't just see the pain, they feel it, letting it carve itself into the marrow of their being. What they take in doesn't break them, it transforms them, sharpening their purpose until it's as precise as a blade. They're not swayed by applause or silenced by fear. They operate beyond the bounds of ego or approval. When they witness injustice thriving, when the cruel flourish unchecked, their silence becomes a warning, their stillness a storm waiting to erupt. And when it does, it's not chaos. It's calculated devastation. They don't just fight, they dismantle. No facade, no corrupt foundation, no oppressor escapes the reach of their righteous fury. Once awakened, they are not just a reckoning, they are the end of the lie. 4. The pain of falling despite doing everything right. For chosen ones, the weight of repeated setbacks feels heavier than most. They gave their all, poured their soul into every effort, stayed true to their values, and walked the hard, honest road when shortcuts beckoned. And yet, they watched as others, less principled and less deserving, reaped the rewards meant for them. It's not just frustration, it's a wound, a quiet ache that whispers of betrayal by the very system they trusted. But that pain doesn't break them, it chisels them into something sharper, stronger. After enough slammed doors and stolen victories, they no longer wait for permission. They stop knocking, stop asking, and start building their own way, one that no one can deny or take from them. After enough walls are built to keep them out, they stop trying to climb. They stop apologizing for their ambition and stop shrinking to make others comfortable. That's when something profound changes. The fire inside doesn't burn recklessly, it forges them into something unyielding. They no longer seek approval or fairness, they create their own path, carving through resistance with unwavering precision. Every step is calculated, every move intentional, and every victory inevitable. Once they embrace this transformation, they don't just rise, they redefine what it means to rise. There's no going back to who they were, only forward to who they were meant to become. After enough defeats, they stop seeking validation. They stop hoping for others to see their worth. That's when the fire inside steadies, not chaotic, but fiercely controlled. They no longer waste energy on proving themselves to a world that refused to understand. Instead, they focus, cutting away distractions and doubt with merciless efficiency. They stop fighting for a seat at someone else's table and start building their own. And when that moment arrives, it's not just a change, it's a metamorphosis. They shed the skin of who they were and step into the unstoppable force they were always destined to be. 5. False faces and silent daggers. The chosen one carries a brilliance that draws people close, not all with pure intentions. Their light becomes a magnet, not just for admiration, but for shadows disguised as allies. Smiles hide schemes and compliments mask quiet resentment. Some come close not to uplift, but to siphon, to dim the glow they could never possess themselves. The chosen one learns to see through the facade, to recognize the difference between those who nurture their fire and those who seek to extinguish it. And with that clarity, they move differently, guarding their light, growing sharper, untouchable. They laugh with you, celebrate you, even stand by your side, but their intentions are hollow. The chosen ones sense it, the quiet imbalance, the subtle dissonance between words and energy. At first, they let it linger, giving the benefit of the doubt, but their intuition never lies. When the masks finally slip, there are no heated arguments or pleas for transparency. There's only a quiet withdrawal, a deliberate severing of ties. They don't waste their light on explaining or justifying. They simply walk away, leaving behind only the silence of their absence. They fade quietly, leaving no trace of anger, only the hollow echo of what once was. What lingers is not the memory of their presence, but the void left by their absence. Their energy, once a refuge, is now unreachable, a sanctuary that has crumbled beyond repair. It's not a wall they build, it's an entire world they take with them, a world you're forever locked out of. And when the weight of their absence finally settles, you'll come to understand that their love was not just given, it was a gift, one you'll never hold again. 6. The weight of being a source. Chosen ones carry a rare energy, a quiet force that transforms everything it touches. Their kindness is effortless, their presence a balm, their light a gift they share without hesitation. But the world has a way of taking more than it gives. People are drawn to them not to uplift, but to be uplifted. They come to be healed, to be filled, to take and take, until the chosen one is left running on fumes. Over time, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore, and so they begin to pull back, not out of resentment, but out of necessity. They learn the difference between giving and being drained. Their silence becomes their shield, their retreat a reclamation. And when they emerge again, their energy is no longer an open well, it's a guarded flame, shared only with those who truly see its value. That's not selfishness, it's survival. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. 7. Dismissing their purpose. The chosen one's journey is no accident. It's a masterpiece of trials, transformation, and unwavering resolve. Their calling is not a passing whim or a fleeting ambition. It's a sacred thread woven into the fabric of their soul, connecting them to something infinite and profound. To belittle their dreams, to roll eyes at their vision, is not just ignorance. It's an affront to the divine force that crafted their path. It's not merely a slight, it's a disruption of something sacred. Mocking their purpose doesn't diminish them. It reveals an inability to comprehend the depth of what they carry. And while they may not retaliate, the universe always answers for them. At first, they'll step back, watching quietly, giving you the chance to recognize your own short-sightedness. They won't waste energy on confrontation or explanations. They don't need to. But if the disrespect persists, something deep and primal stirs within them. They don't retaliate with anger or words, they rise. They channel the insult into elevation, turning doubt into fuel and mockery into momentum. Their transformation becomes their answer, a living testament to the power of purpose. And as they ascend, as they shatter every limit, you're left standing in the shadow of their greatness, realizing too late that you weren't just dismissing a person, you were underestimating fate itself. 8. Disturbing their sanctuary. The peace a chosen one carries is not accidental. It's the result of battles fought and won, scars turned to wisdom, and lessons learned the hard way. They've walked through storms, shed what no longer served them, and built their calm like a fortress. So when someone tries to disrupt that tranquility with petty drama, manipulation, or chaos disguised as care, it's not just an intrusion, it's a declaration of war. At first, they'll meet you with grace, perhaps even patience. But don't mistake their quiet for complacency. Their peace is sacred, guarded by boundaries forged in fire. When they defend it, they do so with precision and finality. No shouting, no games, just a clean severance that leaves no room for return. What you'll feel is not retaliation, but the profound loss of access to a world you never truly valued. Their absence will speak louder than any words ever could. 9. Watching the masks slip. Chosen ones have a gift for seeing beyond the surface. They don't just hear words, they feel intentions. They sense the cracks in facades, the truth hiding beneath rehearsed charm, and the emptiness behind excessive flattery. At first, they might play along, giving others the benefit of the doubt, hoping authenticity will emerge. But their patience isn't infinite. Over time, the weight of falseness becomes unbearable. They quietly detach, stepping away from the noise of pretense and into the clarity of their own truth. They won't call out the fake. They don't need to. Their absence becomes the mirror, forcing the inauthentic to face themselves. In the end, they don't lose anything by walking away. They simply leave the masks to crumble on their own. They let the masks stay in place, observing quietly, giving space for truth to surface. But when the fake begins to overshadow the real, when authenticity becomes a rarity rather than a norm, something shifts within them. It's not anger or resentment, it's clarity. They understand that their energy is too sacred to be wasted in a world of pretense. So they retreat, not with malice, but with purpose. They stop engaging, stop pouring into spaces that drain them, and choose solitude over shallow connection. In their absence, the cracks in the illusion grow wider, exposing the emptiness beneath. The world they leave behind feels their withdrawal, not as a loss of them, but as the loss of something genuine, something irreplaceable. When the chosen one departs, those who thrived on their light are left in the shadows, grasping for what they can no longer reach. Without authenticity to mimic, the hollow echoes of their pretense grow louder, exposing the emptiness they tried to hide. But the chosen one doesn't look back. They walk further into alignment, into spaces where masks can't survive and only truth can breathe. Their essence doesn't plead, it radiates. And the moment it no longer pulls you in, it's not rejection, it's revelation. You were never in tune with their frequency, you were only borrowing their glow. A chosen one breaking their silence isn't chaos, it's clarity. They've mastered the art of restraint, of holding their ground with grace, but even the strongest walls have limits. When their patience is worn thin, it's not an eruption, it's a shift. A reminder that even the calmest waters can turn into unrelenting waves when provoked. Their snap isn't loud or wild, it's purposeful, a sharp redirect of energy that leaves no room for misunderstanding. Respect isn't optional, it's the bare minimum. So honor their strength, value their grace, and never mistake their silence for weakness. If this resonates, type 111 and drop a thumbs up for the chosen ones who fight their battles in silence and still rise in light. Subscribe for more spiritual armor. Your journey deserves it.